Welcome to part 38. Oh, come, follow me. Let's go meet Matthew. This is January the 13th, 2025 by man's calendar. And I want to jump straight on back in here to this book of Matthew, chapter 17. We're talking about Jesus and his transfiguration and how we were with him from the beginning. Y'all can't believe we were with him from the beginning. Do you even believe that he truly transfigured on this mountain? You can't believe that God is with you always, but you let's recap verse 2 of chapter 17. And was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his remnant was white as the light. This is three different people now, mind you, that he is doing this in front of. Peter, Simon Peter, James, and John, his brother. And he brings them up into a high mountain apart. What an amazing thing. I'm just going to say it. What an amazing thing to get chosen, to be chosen to witness, first off. And behold, there appeared to them Moses and Elijah talking with him, talking with Jesus. Then answered Peter and said to Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you will, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he yet spoke, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear you him. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were sore afraid. And Jesus came and touched them and said, Arise and be not afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save Jesus only. And they came down from the mount. Jesus charged them, saying, Tell the vision to no man until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead. And his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elijah must first come? And Jesus answered and said to them, Elijah truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say to you that Elijah is come already, and they knew him not, but have done to him whatsoever they listeth. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Indeed, indeed. because y'all didn't recognize him. Y'all don't recognize him. And you did as you pleased. For a long time. He didn't matter, right? And you say, well, when have we done this to the Lord? Mm. When you have done it to the least among you, did you it also to me? So saith Jesus. When you have done it to the least among you. Those that you think are unfit or unnecessary, or that can't be anything for Jesus, it's the same thing the Pharisees and scribes thought about the 12 disciples. Remember that. And when you treated people like they didn't matter or like they didn't belong, and they were already having a hard time fitting into this world as it was, or trying to find a home in this place. I said a home, not a house. A home is where there is love. A house is just boards and nails and whatnot, right? It can be any place. But a home, not so much. A home there has to be love for it to be a home. There has to be a family connection there. There has to be a sense of belonging that the Lord did not find in this world lately. I can say that with all assurity. Look around. Why do you think everything is burning or topsy-turvy and freezing? One side's on fire, the other side of the U.S. is ice. It's fire and ice. Is it so hard for you to believe that a 100-pound talent is going to fall from that sky and land on people? Is it really? Apparently your life is honky-dory and nothing is going wrong in it then. And you have a really thick set of blinders. If your life is so peach and picture perfect, I would say to you that you're batting for the wrong team. If you haven't noticed the signs of the Lord's soon return, there's something definitely wrong there. Now, then the disciples, let's go on, verse 13. Then the disciples understood that he spoke to them of John the Baptist. And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is lunatic and sore vexed, for often falls into the fire and often into the water. He was flinging himself into the fire and into the water to cause himself harm because of these spirits he was vexed with. Is possession today so different that you don't recognize it? Really, people are injecting themselves with God only knows what, which is causing them harm. Kind of like flinging yourself into a fire or the water, right? Shooting up with all kinds of junk and nasty needles that could cause all kinds of bad things, right? But some of y'all be judging these people for doing that. You be shooting all kinds of stuff into yourself. Just because you use a sterile syringe and you say, well, it was doctor prescribed. Oh, there's a difference in your addiction and theirs, huh? You're better than them, huh? Hmm. Sure, that's how Jesus will view that, right? No, no, I'm quite certain it's not how he views it. I don't have an opinion. I, I gave my opinion to the Lord and he laughed. And so I decided to go with his because mine was worth a good chuckle from him, and that's all it was worth. It's like, we playing, he laughs. We playing, he laughs. You know, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. There you go. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans for your future. That'll either make him laugh or that'll make him cry. Pick one. It'll make him cry. He's not even included. And most of y'all have to be honest with yourself. When you think about your future and you planning your next day every evening, a lot of times Jesus is nowhere on that schedule. Because a lot of y'all thought that the only time you really needed to talk to Jesus was when you was in church every fifth Sunday of every fourth month. That's what I said, every fifth Sunday of every fourth month. That's when you made time for the Lord. And how often are there 5 Sundays in a month? It's about as rare as hen's teeth, isn't it? So you know how often you've been serving the Lord, right? But anyways, where was we? Oh, yes. Verse 16. And I besought him to your disciples, and they could not cure him. I brought him to your disciples, rather, and they could not cure him. Then Jesus answered and said, Oh, faithless and perverse, which means perverted, generation, how long shall I be with you? That's a question. How long shall I endure you? That's a question. Bring him here to me. You think Jesus wasn't distraught in that moment? You think Jesus didn't kind of raise his voice in that moment? Then there's something really wrong with you. Because I assure you, he did. I assure you, he did indeed. Don't you raise your voice at your children when you're disciplining them because you're distraught with what they did and you're disappointed in them. I'll see you in the next part. We'll try to at least get one more before I gotta try to get ready for work.